Okay, we need to talk about one of the most chaotic relationships in Friends, Chandler Bing and Janice. Because this wasn't just a breakup. This was a full-time escape mission. Chandler starts by trying to explain that he and Janice are completely different. He's basically saying, I'm the bing bing bing, and you're the boom boom boom. And Janice immediately loses it. Honestly, Chandler had a point, but explaining your breakup like you're comparing sound effects probably wasn't the best strategy. And then comes the classic Chandler panic. He starts freaking out, telling himself to go to his happy place. But the second Janice comes back into the picture, Chandler is done. And this is what makes their relationship so funny. Chandler desperately wants to escape Janice, but somehow, every time he sees her, he gets pulled right back into the drama. Then things get even crazier. Chandler starts talking about taking a trip together, meeting her parents, moving in together, and Janice is basically like, whoa, slow down. Imagine being so scared of commitment that you scare the other person into slowing down. But then Chandler realizes he said way too much. And suddenly we get one of the most Chandler moments ever. I'm hopeless and awkward and desperate for love. Bro, that sentence explains Chandler's entire dating life. But then comes the ultimate escape plan. Chandler decides the only way to get rid of Janice is to tell her he's moving to Yemen. And somehow, she believes him. At first, Chandler is celebrating internally. He thinks he finally found the perfect solution. But Janice doesn't just accept the news. She wants to help him pack. She wants to go to the airport. She wants to see him off. And Chandler is probably thinking, this plan has gone horribly wrong. Then Joey finds out what's happening. And instead of saving Chandler, he basically watches the chaos unfold. And now Chandler has to take Janice to the airport. At this point, this isn't a breakup anymore. It's an international escape plan. Then Chandler tries to get a fake ticket to Yemen, and even that becomes a disaster. The airline employee thinks he's actually traveling. Chandler is desperately trying to explain that he just needs a pretend ticket, and somehow he ends up trying to use a library card. A library card! That man was fighting for his freedom with overdue book energy. But eventually, Chandler gets on the plane. He thinks it's finally over, until Janice says she wants to wait for him, and Chandler realizes he has created the greatest lie of his life. He actually has to go through with it. Then, just when you think the Janice story couldn't get any crazier, she keeps coming back. And every time Chandler thinks his life is finally getting peaceful, boom, Janice. It's almost like Chandler's personal jump scare, and that's what makes their scenes so memorable. Janice is loud, Chandler is sarcastic, and together they're basically a comedy disaster. But the funniest part is that Chandler isn't always the innocent one. Sometimes he creates the situation himself. He panics, he lies, he overthinks. Then he tries to escape, and somehow his escape plan creates an even bigger problem. That's basically Chandler Bing's dating strategy. Step 1, panic. Step 2, make a terrible decision. Step 3, make the decision worse. Step 4, somehow survive. And honestly, that's why fans still love these scenes. Because underneath all the jokes, Chandler's just a guy who's terrified of love, commitment, and getting hurt. And Janice? Well, Janice is Janice. No matter how many times Chandler runs, no matter how far he goes, and apparently no matter if he goes all the way to Yemen, Janice somehow finds a way to make her come back. So let's settle this once and for all. Was Chandler actually wrong for trying to escape Janice? Or was Yemen his only option? Let me know in the comments. And if Chandler Bing's dating disasters always make you laugh, hit that subscribe button, because there is no shortage of chaos in this man's love life.